Good evening, everyone. This is the Rooftop Sports, and here we are back for some, you guessed it, Sonics basketball. And it has been a no better time than to do Sonics basketball content right now. And also, today I hit a milestone. Today I achieved at 100 followers today, which means on Facebook, which by that, I will be able to do live streaming on my Facebook channel. So this is actually now my Facebook debut, as much as I do it for YouTube, Twitch, Twitter X, and now Facebook. So let's get into it. Now hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification, or if you just got this for the first time, hit the follow button. And now it's time to go back to 1999. All right, here we are. Ooh, not that one. Yep, definitely that one. All right, it's going to be the Seattle SuperSonics against the Utah Jazz, but here's a little bit of a pickle going on. Dennis Rodman is now missing. He is not with the team right now. He no-showed. He missed his flight with the team. I think there's something going on with his personal life. I don't know what it is, but I think it might have something to do with that marriage, his crazy marriage of his with Carmen Electra. I guess Carmen Electra just doesn't like Seattle. I guess she liked the Seattle lifestyle. Or that Dennis Rodman's just a crazy, volatile guy. However you want to think of it. But we are going to go into Sonics basketball. All right, first I want to go into the scouting. Like, is there scouts still going on? Oh, free agents. I guess I better start scouting free agents. I didn't think of that. Or shall I say incoming free agents is probably the more accurate thing, which can't really do so. Well, anyways, let's go into the draft. Sean Marion is now considered a top pick of the draft. All right, let's see who else I haven't really drafted at all. Lamar Odom. Yeah, let's do Lamar Odom. Okay, maybe I'll take a look at this guy. And I'll look at Quincy Lewis. Yeah, let's go with that. All right, it's going to be the Utah Jazz and the Seattle SuperSonics. Let's do this. And they're going to be without Dennis Rodman. All right, it's time. Let's do this. Let's do some Sonics basketball. Game on, baby. It's going to be John Stockton, Karl Malone, Jeff Hornacek, as the Utah Jazz are trying to get themselves back into the playoffs coming off of that 98 NBA Finals loss, and we are underway. Stevens for three, and he hits that three-pointer, and the Sonics now take that quick lead, that quick early lead. Now here is Brian Russell. Here's Ostertag. And oh, Stockton, he is blocked by Watson. Nice defensive play. And now here's Ostertag, and he gets that in. And the Utah Jazz have now taken, or they have now got themselves on the board. And now it's a steal by Jeff Hornacek. He's going to try to take it in all the way. Can he do so? And blocked by Stevens, and blocked by Stevens again. Rebound, Rashard Lewis, and what hustle effort by Joe Stevens. And now here's Jerome James. Nice assist. And now the Sonics have now taken a 5-2 lead. James is at 12.6 per game. Here's Stockton for 3. And now here's Ostertag. He is actually fouled by McCoy, and he is going to go to the line. I'm so happy that I was able to get to 100 followers. So hopefully the consistency going forward will really, really help. As you can see that I've been doing a lot more consistency on the Facebook. And now here is Jerome James, and he's able to get that in. He has now 4 points. He is now leading the Sonics. Now Stockton, he's being double teamed by Watson and Jelani McCoy. Stockton trying to make some magic. And now here's Ostertag. And now here it goes. And now here is Watson. He's able to get that in. Tony, how's it going? Thank you. Yep, 100. It's 100 followers on Facebook. I'm still trying to get to 3,000, which I haven't gotten there yet. Now here's Stockton for 3. And that's going to be the 3-pointer for the Utah Jazz. Now here's Stevens, goes for 3-pointer. Oh, he hits the 3. Now it's 12-7. Sonics are still without Dennis Rodman. And now it's going to be a steal. Now here's stolen by McCoy. Now here is Watson with the nice dunk. And it is now 14-7 Utah. Sonics are suddenly actually a good team. In the second half, they've actually been a little bit of a better team rather than that completely tanking team. Now here's Karl Malone, and he makes that swish. And I think that's his first field goal of the game. Now here's Jerome James to Stevens. Out to Lewis for 3. And James saves it. Now to McCoy. And he's able to get that in over Karl Malone. The Sonics are shooting 88% from the field. Oh my goodness. And now Lewis with the rebound. Oh no, you're going to do the 8-second violation. Oh, that was close. And now here's Stevens, and he loses it, and it's going to be Jazz ball. And now that's a layup. That was Jeff Hornacek. Now here's Stevens for 3. And he misses it. He does have a very efficient, quick catch and shoot maneuver. And now here's Brian Russell. And he's able to get that in. Pay attention, Sonics defense. Now here's Watson over to Jerome James. And he is fouled, and he's going to go to the line. Jerome James is having himself a really good game, but he misses that free throw. He has now 6 points, leading the Sonics along with Joe Stevens. And now here's Stockton for 3. James with the rebound. And now here's Rashard Lewis. And now we've got... And now here's Stevens with another catch and shoot. Oh, another 3-pointer for Joe Stevens. And timeout, Seattle or Utah. Now here's John Stockton being heavily defended by Watson. Watson's actually a pretty good defender. Now here's Jeff Hornacek. Here's Karl Malone. And now nice pass. Stockton and Malone with the dunk. Now here's Jamie Watson. Stevens, another catch and shoot. And misses this time. Karl Malone with the rebound. Delta Center becomes a very difficult place to play. Now here's Jeff Hornacek. Now here's Brian Russell. And now Karl Malone with the shot. It is now 21-17. And now here's Jelani McCoy. Nice pass. Nice risky pass by Jamie Watson. Here's John Stockton. Now here's Karl Malone to Hornacek with the shot. And he makes it. Now here's Stevens for three. And he hits it again. Joe Stevens with 12 points. I think he's also trying to go for 50 points. With the season winding down, it's like, why not? Now here's Karl Malone. He is wide open, blocked by Lewis. What an emphatic block by Rashard Lewis. And who are they going to get this to on the offense to capitalize? And now here is Lewis for three. James with the rebound. Oh, with the ferocious dunk. Nice putback effort by Jerome James. And the Sonics, they are really putting it forward on them. And now here's a shot, and that's going to be missed. Rashard Lewis, and now here comes Jamie Watson. Now here's McCoy. Oh, nice pass. No, he misses. He loses it. Turns the ball over. I think the Sonics do lead the NBA in turnovers, and now that's a nice little layup. I think that was Chris Morris who makes it. Jamie Watson's now bringing it up. Now here's Stevens. Lewis for three. And out of bounds, Utah ball. You should be a sports announcer. Ever thought of that? Commentary is on point. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine just doing it like right here. I also do Mariners baseball. I'm doing opening day, by the way. That's the plan. I do my own play-by-play. I'd rather just be independent rather than work for someone else. That's just me. I don't feel the need to get a paycheck out of that. I'd rather just try to get my own paycheck out of it if possible. I mean, I'm still a ways to go. So, I mean, I do appreciate it, Tony, but right now I just want to be independent. Now here's Karl Malone. Rebound, Joe Stevens. Now here's Rashard Lewis. Now here's McCoy going for the jump shot. He misses. Brian Russell with the rebound. Now here's John Stockton with a jumper. Lewis with another rebound. Gets it to Joe Stevens. Now here's Jerome James. And now stolen by Jeff Hornacek. And he is being chased. And now another block by Joe Stevens. He has now 3 blocks in this game. Here's McCoy over to... Oh, with the dunk. 9-point lead for the Sonics. They are on fire against Utah. Here's Stockton. And now here's Karl Malone. Hasn't really amounted to much. Now here's Brian Russell. Here's Stockton for 3. And he hits the 3-pointer. You got to expect him to make the open 3. And now it's only seconds left. And now here is Stevens going for the deep 3-pointer. Nope. He is not going to make it, but it was a great start by Seattle with Stevens with 3 blocks and 12 points. Now it looks like the Sonics are going to get to their bench players because they're doing everything by rotational. You're going to give Andrew Gay some playing time. They're going to put in Greg Foster. He's going to check in. I think he should be getting some kind of a standing ovation or some kind of a cheering. And rebound, Stevens. Here comes Jerome James. Nice pass to Watson. Oh, with the dunk. Jamie Watson now has 8 points. Now, Hersey Hawkins, the former Sonic. If you think about it, Hersey Hawkins was actually blocked by James. And rebound Watson. Here's Jelani McCoy. Nice pass. Now here is Stevens. No, he misses it from point blank. And now here's Howard Isley. He's going to go up against Jerome James. He gets the rebound. He missed by the missed shot. And now here is Stevens to Rashard Lewis with the layup. Sonic starters are not done yet, as the bench is all wet and fouled by Watson. Is now 34-24. Oh, stolen by Andrew Gaze. And now here is Gaze for 3 and misses. Hawkins with the rebound. Now here's Hawkins for another 3-pointer. He makes the 3. Hersey Hawkins trying to make his team pay. Former team. And now here's Gaze. Wide open for 3. And Hawkins' defense has been suffocating. And now here is Terrell Bailey, and he gets that in over Greg Foster. Now it's just a 5-point lead for the Sonics. What are they going to do now? Screened by Greg Foster. And now stolen by Ostertag. It was badly handled. Now here's Howard Isley. And he is fouled, and he's going to go to the line. I think they're going to bring in Sean Resprit. Resprit's going to get on and makes the free throw. And now it's 34-31. Now here is Resprit for 3. And Ostertag with the rebound. Here's Howard Isley. Now Hawkins with a jump shot. And he makes the jump shot. And Utah is really cutting it close. Here's Corlone Young. Resprit for 3. And he gets it in this time. Sean Resprit has been a return player, a comeback guy. He has a very inspiring story. Maybe he's in the running for most improved. And no steal. And stolen by Jones. And now here is Williams with the dunk. Jamon Williams with an absolute dunk. Now here's Isley for 3. Jones with the rebound. Got a little bit of a quarterbacking baseball pass. Now here's Jones. Goes for the jumper, but he misses. The Sonics are going to bring back their starters real soon. Now here's Hawkins. And rebound Corlone Young. Now here comes Sean Resprit. And stolen by Hawkins. And blocked. Oh, man, but they were able to get that in there. Here comes Williams. Resprit, another 3-pointer. And he misses, and that's going to be out of bounds. And here come the starters. Yeah, Hawkins on the Jazz is crazy. Did you know that, believe it or not, I actually traded Hersey Hawkins to the Utah Jazz for 2 future first-round picks, Greg Foster and Shandon Anderson. And then I flipped Shandon Anderson and got rookie Jerome James. So safe to say I got a pretty good deal on Jerome James. Now a 3-pointer. And James with the rebound. And now stolen by Cotton. And he gets another block. That is 4 blocks for Joe Stevens. Joe Stevens has been a fine player for the Sonics. Could be the future after 1999. Here's Stevens for 3. And James with another rebound. Oh, nice spin move by Jerome James. He has now 10 points. He is leading the team, or one of the leaders in scoring. And now here's Cotton. And that's a shot that's going to be made by Utah. And here comes Watson. Stevens for 3. And he hits the 3-pointer. Finally gets that field goal. He has now 15 points on 5 of 9 shooting. Hawkins for 3. James with another rebound. He's been very aggressive. And now here's Watson. And Stevens again for 3-pointer. And Watson gets his own gets a rebound. Lewis wide open for 3. And Rashard Lewis from downtown. It is now 13-4 run by Seattle. And the starters, they are making him pay. And, oh, no, miss. And here comes Joe Stevens. Gets it to Jamie Watson. He's going to go in all the way with the dunk. And the foul. They say that they are the front runners. So we'll see. And you would think they would be. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Here's Karl Malone. And blocked. Here comes Watson. Over to Jerome James. And he gets it in. Yeah, I think the owners of the Kraken are the front runners. You never know who else is going to be a part of it. They always say Jeff Bezos, but I don't buy it. But you also have to consider that some of the billionaires are leaving Seattle. So you just got to wonder who those buyers are going to be for the Sonics. And you just don't know. We'll just have to see. Now here's Cotton. And here's Hersey Hawkins. He goes for the jumper. And putback slam by Karl Malone. He's now 51-39. Now here's a nice pass to Jerome James. He is fouled. And he is going to go to the line. Draws the foul. Which Jerome James is capable at. But he misses the free throw. Which is something that he is really going to have to work on going into the offseason. He misses them both. He is now 0 for 3 on free throws. Hawkins is being heavily guarded. They're going to put Jamie Watson on Hawkins. Now here is Adam Keefe. And blocked by James again. Now here's Rashard Lewis. And here's James. Goes for a random fadeaway. What was he thinking? That was not a good shot by Jerome James. Now here's Hawkins for 3. And Lewis with the rebound. And now here's Jelani McCoy. And now here's James with a nice acrobatic move. 19-6 run. James has now 14 points. James has just been an absolute force for the Sonics in the big man department. Malone has now had 8 points. He's playing center. Now here's Byron Russell. He makes the shot. Now here is Jamie Watson. Now here is McCoy. And stolen by Brian Russell. And Cotton's able to get that in to put them within 10 once again. Now here's Watson. Now here's Jelani McCoy. Oh, no, he misses it. Here's Hersey Hawkins. Karl Malone being guarded by McCoy. Now here's Brian Russell. Rebound Malone, and he is fouled. Fouled by James, and he will go to the line. Nope, no, he's not going to go to the line. Here's Stockton for 3, and he misses. Now, oh, here's Ostertag is wide open as we are now back. Here comes Jamie Watson. Probably should slow it down because he only had 3 players on the offense. Lewis for 3. And this is Karl Malone with the rebound. Let's look at Joe Stevens' numbers as we are in the half. Stevens has 4 blocks, 15 points, 8 rebounds. He's been having a great game. And now here is Russell. And Lewis protect. No! And Brian Russell's able to get it back. Now here's Jamie Watson over to Joe Stevens. Trying to get that screen from Jerome James, and he gets it. A nice pass to James. He is fouled, and he's going to go to the line. But he's got to make his free throws to make it all worth it. There's James at the line. Misses the free throw again. It's really adding up on him. And misses again. Now here's Brian Russell. Being heavily guarded. Now here's Russell with a jumper. And makes it. Now here's McCoy. Gives it to Watson. And now Stevens for 3. And he makes that 3-pointer. He has now 18 points. He was on pace at 50 at one point. Maybe he can just catch fire. But you should probably worry about the Sonics trying to win some games, as they've had a very difficult season. Now here's Stockton for 3. And he answers it right back to put the Jazz within 4 of the Seattle SuperSonics. Now here's Watson over to Lewis for 3. Nope, he misses it. Here's John Stockton getting it up. And now a nice pass by Russell. And he's able to get that in. And it's only a 2-point game. It's getting really dangerous for the Sonics. Now here's Jerome James. Oh, nice fake. And he can't get it in. Although James has 14 points, he has struggled in this half. He has 14 points and 7 rebounds. Now here's John Stockton over to Greg Ostertag. And now it's a 3-pointer. And makes it at the buzzer with the shot clock going down. It's now 57-56. Here's James. And here is Lewis for 3. Oh, makes the 3-pointer. He has now 8 points and 5 rebounds. It's now 59-57. Stockton for 3. And he makes the 3-pointer. Answers it right back, and Utah takes the lead. Now here's Jamie Watson. Nice pass. And now here's to Joe Stevens. You don't want him shooting the ball. And now Stevens for 3. He misses. Now here's John Stockton. And he's able to get that in bravely over Rashard Lewis. Now here's Watson. Goes past Stockton. Now here's Jerome James being guarded by Karl Malone. And here's James, sets that screen and gets it to James, and he loses it, and it's going to be Jazz ball. James has now, I think, two turnovers in this half. Now here's McCoy, and he blocks Karl Malone. Now here comes Rashard Lewis, gets it to Watson, and he's able to get that in, uses his big body. And missed by James. Oh, terrible pass, and now it's Utah ball. And the bench is going to be coming in, probably in result of that. Not a good pass by Jerome James. That brings back Shammond Williams, Sean Resprit, Corlone Young, here's Stockton, he makes it. And now it's 64-61. The Sonics are just absolutely struggling in this half. Here comes Mikey Moore. He's wide open with the dunk. It is now 64-63. Now here comes Howard Isley for 3. Jones with the rebound. And here comes Sean Resprit. Now here's Jones. Goes for the jumper. Goes for another shot. Just lazy shooting. Now Resprit for 3. And he makes it. Sean Resprit with a huge shot. And now it's 66-64. Now here's Shammond Williams. And now here's Resprit. Can he answer right back? No, he's not going to. Karl Malone has now 8 points. He hasn't really scored much. He's not playing his typical Karl Malone day. 3-pointer by Stockton again. John Stockton from downtown. He has now 19 points alone in the second half. Here's Resprit. Can he answer? He does it right back for 3. Timeout, Utah. I think they're going to keep him on, as Sean Resprit's been playing very well. He's got now 2 3-pointers in this quarter so far. Since the All-Star game, Sonics have been one of the best offensive teams too. The problem is, everything else just needs a lot of work. They just can't finish the games, and picked by Karl Malone. And oh boy, Howard Isley with the shot. Now here's Shammond Williams. And now stolen by Karl Malone. Now here comes Jeff Hornacek with the easy layup. Here's Jones. Tries to go up on Karl Malone. And Mikey Moore with another rebound. Resprit for 3. And Mikey Moore again. Is he going to get it in? He does. Mikey Moore has been picking it up for the Sonics. He has now 4 points as a center himself. He has 4 rebounds. Now here's Howard Isley to Karl Malone. And he goes for the easy jumper, and he makes it. Here's Shammond Williams. Here's Corlone Young. Now Williams with his first field goal attempt, and he makes it. You got to get it to Shammond Williams. It's now 76-74. Now here's Sean Resprit. Now here's Carl Malone. Goes for another jumper. Not this time. Now here comes Sean Resprit. Oh, nice fake. And now here's Jones. And he misses it. Here's Mikey Moore. Gets it to Resprit for 3. Oh, he makes it. Sean Resprit with the clock going down. Amazing game so far. 77-76. Sean Resprit has been doing very well in this game. They're going to go with their starters again. But Sean Resprit, he's been playing very well. Here's Jamie Watson's wide open. He's fouled, and he will go to the line. Jamie Watson and the foul. And he gets the 3-point play. He has now 15 points. How's he been doing on field goals? 7 of 7 with 9 assists. Now here is Stockton. He makes the layup. Here's Jerome James to Jamie Watson. And now here is to Stevens for 3. Now here's John Stockton. Now here's Hawkins with a shot. And now it's Keefe. And now here is Carl Malone. James with the rebound. Now here is going to be for McCoy. And he gets it in. Jelani McCoy can really post. It's now 72-88. What do they got here? And a near steal, and that's going to be Sonic's ball. That got off the legs of John Stockton. What are they going to do here? Now here's Watson to James, and he should be open. No, he misses the point-blank shot. Now here's Hersey Hawkins. And out of bounds, Sonics basketball. Now McCoy gets it to Watson. Here's Lewis for 3. Carl Malone with the rebound. Now 82-78. Now here's Stockton for 3. Misses it. Now here's Ostertag. What a weird shot by Greg Ostertag. It's now 82-80. Now here's Stevens to Lewis. Now here's James. He posts up on Ostertag. And he misses it. And here come the Jazz. Greg Ostertag's been playing some decent defense in the second half against Jerome James. Here's Hersey Hawkins against his former team. Hersey Hawkins has now 5 points. Now here's George Lynch over to Carl Malone. And seconds are going down. Is he going to go for a three-pointer? They dare him. And he misses it point as a in and out. Now here is Watson. And he might have an open lane. Now here is Stevens for 3. Oh! Joe Stevens from downtown. Nice, insane long pass by Jamie Watson. He has now a double-double. Now here's Stockton. Lewis with the rebound. And now here is Jerome James. No, he loses it. Over to Rashard Lewis. Now here is McCoy. And he's able to get that in himself. He used his entire body to get that in. McCoy now has 8 points. Mariners killing it today. Going to the opening day at T-Mobile Park. I have not decided yet. I'm either going to go live on Thursday night or I'm going to go to T-Mobile Park. Now here's Lynch. Now here's Stockton for 3. Stevens with the rebound. And now here is Watson to James. And misses it completely. And now Stevens for 3. Oh my goodness. Joe Stevens have brought the Sonics back up by 10. I think that was a shot being made. And now we got some press going on because they're getting desperate. And here's Jerome James. He's going to try to post up. Now here's James. He is blocked. I think they're going to take out Jerome James. He is just not. It's just not working for him. And rebound Jerome James. Here's Lewis to McCoy. Goes up on Ostertag. He makes him fall down, and he's able to get that in. How was that not an offensive foul? McCoy now has 10 points. Despite the Sonics not having Dennis Rodman, they're playing just fine without him, especially against Stockton Malone, and that is John Stockton with a shot. Here comes Jamie Watson to Jerome James. He's going to try to go in all the way. He's fouled, and he will go to the line. Jerome James has not scored at all in the second half. Can he break it this time? No, he cannot. And he misses again. But Sonics somehow got the ball back. Here's James. And now here's McCoy. And here's James again. Gets his own rebound. Here's Watson going for 3. A really ill-advised shot. And I think that's going to get him to the bench. And blocked by Stevens again. Joe Stevens, what have you been doing? Now here's Watson. No, he misses it. Now here's John Stockton over to Hornacek. And Watson with the rebound. And now here is Stevens for 3. Karl Malone with the rebound. Jazz actually still have time. Now here's Karl Malone. 6 blocks for Joe Stevens. What has he been doing? Here's Sean Respert, and he's able to lay that in. And timeout's been called by Utah. It looked like the Jazz were going to have a little bit of time to try to make some kind of a comeback, but that ain't happening. Let's see where Stevens is at. He has now 6 blocks, 29 points, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 6 blocks. That is not normal. Now here's John Stockton. Over to Jeff Hornacek. And Stockton for 3. Hornacek with the rebound. He is fouled. And he is going to go to the line. Sonics still, or Utah still has a chance make some kind of a comeback, but it's only a minute 40. There's still time, but time is really waning down. And now here's Jones, and he gets that in. And now Karl Malone with the dunk. Now here's Shammond Williams over to Jones with the dunk. And now they're just maintaining it. I think they just keep what they have right now. I don't think they really need the starters. Here's Karl Malone being heavily defended by Jones. Here's Brian Russell to John Stockton. He is fouled by Williams. Free throws will be given to John Stockton. And I think the Sonics are going to keep their bench players. They don't really have to take them out. And Mikey Moore gets the rebound off the miss by John Stockton on the free throws. Very shocking. Here's Karl Malone. He's guarding Jones. And now Young for three. And he hits the three-pointer. That's his first basket, by the way. Now here's John Stockton. He makes the hoop. 30 seconds left in this game, and it's pretty much a lost game for Utah. Now it was Williams for three. Mikey Moore with another rebound. He's been a major factor in this game. Now here's Jones. Gets the ball back. Here's Jones again. And that's going to be goaltending, and that will be credit given to Dante Jones. Here's Terrell Bailey. He goes for the shot, and that's going to do it. Oh, Cotton with a foul. But at this point, it is just a formality. And that'll do it. The Seattle SuperSonics will win. Sonics 103, Jazz 92. And it was off of great play. They say it was Jamie Watson got player of the game. I mean, why would he? Wonder if I have another game in me. I think I do. I mean, it was his playmaking abilities that really made the difference. Joe Stevens, he had 6 blocks. James had 14 points and 12 rebounds. I'll just do this. That's a weird stat line. Jamie Watson with 15 points, 12 assists. And we got John Respirate, 14 points, 4 of 8 from three-pointer. Jerome James, 14 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks. Anyone else that stood out? Not really. Mikey Moore with 4 points, 7 rebounds in 6 minutes of play, more like 12 minutes of play. Fantastic game for everyone. Spurs have clinched their playoff spot. Now let's see where the standings are at. They're going to be playing against the Los Angeles Clippers. Then they'll have their home finale in Seattle. Standings, power rankings. Woo! 26-49 Seattle. They're refusing to lose. But where are the Hornets at? Hornets are now back in their winning ways, you can say that. Now they're playing against the Clippers. I want to see how the other guys have been doing on the team before I get to the next game. Joe Stevens has now 15, almost 16 points a game. Like, he has just been amazing. 24 points, 32-point games. Like, he's really been scoring. Like, look at that. Look at that stat line. Even had 10 3-pointers on a loss against Phoenix. Jerome James. He's been getting all those rebounds. Going to go up against the Los Angeles Clippers. I wonder what they're going to do with their lineup this time. I think they're going to do the tank. Going to sit out Watson, sit out Stevens. Lewis will sit out too. It's going to be Corlone Young. I think they're going to have Andrew Gaze as a starter. Jelani McCoy, they'll still keep him in there. They're not going to play Shammond Williams. I can tell you that. I think they're going to cut Jason Sasser. They just don't really have a use for him anymore, especially since they're benching Shammond Williams. I just don't see the point. So I think the Sonics are just going to cut him. They're going to cut Sasser. Even though they gave him like I think they gave him like a $1 million contract. But yeah, they're going to release him. And for free agents, they're just going to look for a point guard. They got Steve Henson, Bobby Hurley, Kevin Ollie, Marcus Brown, Gerald Madkins, Marlon Garnett. I want to see which one can dunk. Chris Gardner, Adonis Jordan, Who are they going to put in? I'm going to put in old Scott Henson. Maybe someone with some upside. I think they just want to put in the most athletic player possible. I think I'm just going to put in Marcus Brown. They're just going to start. They're going to start Tyronn Lue. Brown will get the start. It's going to be Brown, Resprit. Who is their small forward at this point? Now you're kind of thin on the options too. Now you're thin on small forwards now. Don't really have anyone to work with. I think they'll play Rashard Lewis. They still have 3 of their starters. They're going to bench Jerome James. Mikey Moore's pretty much the same player at this point. Who do I really want? Very undecided what I want to do. Yeah. Lakers, schmakers. Whatever, man. Let's see. Jerome James. Shammond Williams. Greg Foster could be a candidate to get out. I don't think I really need 3 centers anymore. But you never know, right? I think I'll have Jerome James. I'll just start Greg Foster. I want to see how funny that would be. All right, there we go. Gonna start Greg Foster as center for the beloved Seattle SuperSonics. Sonics are now 27-50, by the way. Oof. One of the worst teams in the NBA. All right, here we go. And it's going to be Greg Foster, and we're going to do another double header. And ball tipped. won by LA Clippers. Now here's Maurice Taylor. Here's Hudson over to Piakowski. Nice moves. He makes it. Clippers are playing without Michael Olowokandi. Now here's Rashard Lewis. Gaze for 3, and he makes it. Sonics get themselves on the board with a 3-pointer, and now they lead it 3-2. Now here's a 3-pointer, and Lewis gets the rebound. Here's Jelani McCoy over to Greg Foster, goes for the jumper and misses. Greg Foster is getting his first start of the season for the Sonics. Something very rare to see. Here's Tracy Murray, Piakowski for 3. And then Taylor with the rebound, and he will go to the line, and he is going to shoot a free throw to complete the 3-point play. And he does. It's now 5-3, Los Angeles. Going to try to get Jelani McCoy more involved. Oh, he fakes it, but fouled by Taylor. That was actually a good foul, by the way. Here's Gaze, also getting his first start. Here's Greg Foster, trying to make the post moves. Now Gaze for 3. Again! Gaze from 3-pointer. The Sonics take the lead again. Now here is Tracy Murray. To Hudson, now Piakowski. Ball's lost. Now here's Hudson for 3, and he makes the 3-pointer. Clippers are trying to fight. Now here's McCoy being guarded by Maurice Taylor. Now it's Lou. Now here's Greg Foster. And McCoy gets the rebound. He is fouled, and he's going to go to the line. Jelani McCoy, who has been starting mostly in place of Dennis Rodman. Now here's Hudson. A nice putback. It is now 10-8. News on Dennis Rodman is still very unclear. Lewis for 3. But Dennis Rodman has been known to be missing for a while. Now there's a 3-pointer. Now Lewis with the rebound, second rebound of the game. But a very awkward time for Seattle. And here's McCoy, and he misses. It's Tracy Murray to Maurice Taylor, and he makes it. Okay, Google. Where did the Los Angeles Clippers play in 1997? And 3-pointer by Rashard Lewis. Sonics are hanging in there. And now here's a jump shot. And now here's Tracy Murray, and he makes it. Yeah, Dennis Rodman has been known to be missing for quite some time. Here's Foster. Oh, he makes the nice jump shot. Greg Foster with a shot. Not saying that Greg Foster is going to. He's been playing a little bit, but not much. And now here's Tracy Murray. He makes it. I don't think Foster will necessarily fit the future for the Sonics, though. Now here's McCoy and Clippers ball. Bad pass by Tyronn Lue. Timeout called by the Clippers. Now here's Hudson. Now here's Tracy Murray. And he makes it. Here's Jelani McCoy. And now that is stolen by Tracy Murray. Now here's Thomas to Piakowski. Now Thomas with a shot. And Lou with the rebound. Here's Rashard Lewis. Now Hudson with the rebound. And a slam dunk. Now it's 20-13. Here's Andrew Gaze. Now it's to Jelani McCoy. And with the dunk, McCoy now has 4 points. It's now 14 points in the paint by the Clippers and 4 points in the paint by the Sonics. Here's Hudson for 3. Gaze with the rebound off the miss. What are they going to do now? Oh, nice pass. Oh, with the dunk. Jelani McCoy now has 6 points. Some are trying to say that he could be the future of the Sonics. We'll just have to see. Now here's Tracy Murray. And McCoy with the rebound. Here comes Rashard Lewis. Lewis for 3. And now Murray with the rebound. Now here's Taylor. Lewis with the rebound. And now here is McCoy. He loses the ball, and now it's Clippers ball. Not good ball handling by Jelani McCoy. Clippers have really fallen apart. They're 31-47. Hudson gets that rebound, or he gets it in. Now here's Maurice Taylor, and he is fouled by Greg Foster. Foster has not really played much impactful defense. I mean, look at his stat line right now. Greg Foster only 2 points and 1 assist, and they're giving him starting minutes. And makes the free throw. After this game, Sonics will be playing their final home game against the Pacers. Very weird last home game. Now here's Gaze for 3. Gaze now has 22 points. And now 3-pointer by the Clippers. Now here's Gaze over to McCoy. And now Gaze for 3. He misses this time. Tyrone Nesby with the rebound. Now here comes Richardson with a shot. Now Taylor. And he is fouled by Gaze. And misses the free throw. Foster trying to box out. Doesn't matter. Makes the free throw. Here's Tyronn Lue. Outside to Lewis. Gaze wide open. Misses the 3-pointer. Here's Richardson. And that's going to be out of bounds. Clippers ball. And nice, Tyrone Nesby with the shot. Is now 28-20. Gaze with the jumper. McCoy with the rebound. And he gets it in. McCoy with 8 points now for the Sonics. He's made himself a possible future piece. He looks a very attractive player. And only seconds left. And blocked by McCoy, and that's going to do it for the quarter. Rashard Lewis was able to recover. And there we go. Now we got Brown. He is making his Sonics debut. He's got some speed, and he's already going aggressively. Almost made it, but not quite. And now here is Williams. Blocked by Resprit. Nice defensive play. And now here is Brown. Nice dribble moves to Young, and he is fouled, but he gets into the line. Now 28-22. Corlone Young. He makes the free throw. And makes the free throw again. It's now 24-28. And almost a steal. And fouled by Brown. Brown, who is making his Sonics debut. Marcus Brown, out of Murray State. He was undrafted. He's 25 years old. He played for Portland briefly, but that was it. He's actually a pretty decent three-point shooter. He hasn't really had much of a chance. Now here's Richardson. And here is the Jones. And Mikey Moore. And he is fouled. He'll go to the line. And he makes the free throw. Now here comes Brown to Jones. And he loses it. Here's Richardson. And he is fouled by Mikey Moore. Going to be 2 shots at the line. Mikey Moore has been fouling quite a bit. The free throw's been made. Here comes Brown. And he goes for the lay-in. Nope, he misses it. He's yet to make a shot. And that is going to be out of bounds. Sonics basketball. Gets it to Resprit. Now here's Dante Jones. Now here's Marcus Brown. Young for 3. And this is it. Sonics are now absolutely struggling. Now a three-pointer. And fouled by Jones. That is now the 4th team foul already. Not a good defensive quarter for the Sonics. Vrankovic is now going to be playing. Now Corlone Young with the steal. To Resprit. Back to Jones. Going to try Marcus Brown for 3. And misses it, but it went out of bounds, but he did make it technically, but they're still going to call that out of bounds. Brown is absolutely cold. Now here's a jump shot. And a nice putback slam. That puts the Clippers up by 11. It's now 18-10. Now here is Brown trying to go all the way. And he misses again. Marcus Brown is not off to a good start. Now here's Piakowski, rebound more. Here comes Jones. And right to Jones. Nice pass by Moore. Jones gets it in. He gets himself on the board. Been a very long first half for the Sonics. And he's able to get that in. Now 37-26. Here's Brown. And he makes his first basket. Finally gets it out of his system. And a dunk. Now here's Corlone Young for three. Now here's Richardson. Now here is Piakowski. And rebound Kloss. And fouled by Brown. And that is now, they are now over the foul limit. They're going to bring back their starters, as this has just been unacceptable for the Sonics. Gaze for three, and he makes another three-pointer. Good game for Andrew Gaze so far. He has now 12 points for the Sonics. Now here's Taylor. And he makes the shot. Here's Tyronn Lue. And stolen by Taylor, the All-Star. Now here's Greg Foster. And an air ball. But saved by Andrew Gaze. Nice hustle. And McCoy gets that in. Off the air ball by Greg Foster. Here's Eric Piakowski to Tracy Murray with a jumper. And he makes it. Clippers are still up by 11. Now here's Andrew Gaze. Goes for three. And he cannot make any shot right now. Couldn't even buy a bucket. Keith Kloss is now taking it up. There's Piakowski to Tracy Murray. And he is just on fire. Tracy Murray now has 14 points. Lewis for three. And he is struggling. And fouled. And he's going to go to the line. Gaze for three. He's got to stop making He's got to stop shooting the three-pointers. It's just not working for him. Here is Tracy Murray. And that is rebounded by McCoy. Here is Tyronn Lue for three. Piakowski for three. Foster with the rebound. And that's going to be a big turnover. And here comes Hudson. And he gets that in there. Lewis for 3. He makes it. Now here's Maurice Taylor being guarded by McCoy. Here's Piakowski. Here's Thomas with a jumper. And Lou gets the rebound. Foster's wide open. He misses. Three-pointer by Murray. Rebound Taylor, and he makes it. As you can tell, I'm getting a little bit tired from this. It's now 53-39. Back over to Gaze for 3. And he misses again. Now here comes Eric Piakowski. And he misses the point-blank shot. But the Clippers get it back. It's now 55-39. Gaze for 3. Oh, he makes the three-pointer. And that'll do it for the half. See who is the point. It's Andrew Gaze has been the leading scorer. McCoy 10 and 6. I think they should get him the ball more. Lou has 4 turnovers. Resprit has barely played at all. Now here's Brown. Gets it to Resprit for 3. And he makes the three-pointer. There's Tracy Murray. And he gets it in. Here's Jones. He makes the shot. And Marcus Brown, he is at his 3rd foul. Is now 57-47 Clippers. Now here's Taylor. Being guarded by Gaze. Why would you put Gaze on him out of all players? Now here's McCoy being guarded by Maurice Taylor. Tries to get the moves. Nope, he rushed it. Sonics are on the verge of losing their 51st game of the season. And Lewis, he commits the foul. And he will go to the line. Free throw's been made. And makes the free throw. Now here is Brown. Respite for 3. And he makes another 3-pointer. Sean Respite off to a start. This is playing on the PC, Christian. Now here's Vrankovich to Tracy Murray, and he gets the dunk. Now here's Marcus Brown. Gets a nice screen from Foster, loses the ball. McCoy with a jump shot. Nope, not going to be doing it. Now here's Rashard Lewis. Nice pass. And now it's a 15-point game. Clearly, the Sonics have been tanking. Now here's Brown. Here's Sean Respite. Brown for 3. McCoy with the rebound. Lewis now gets it back to McCoy. Going to try to make the moves. Goes for the fadeaway. Not a good shot by McCoy. Now here's Piakowski. Brown with the rebound. Now here's Brown. And he is fouled. Why don't you stream some MM or something? MM? Like, what's MM? Goes for the free throw, and he makes the free throw. That's Marcus Brown. And misses the free throw. March Madness? Nah, I'm not interested. I couldn't do March Madness. I was only interested enough to do the bracket. That's really about it. Now here's Hudson with the free throw. And makes the free throw. Hudson again. Now here's Marcus Brown. And now here's McCoy. He loses the ball. Now here is Troy Hudson. And he gets it in. I think they're going to start to put some bench players in. Gaze will come back on. Corlone Young will be on. Now here's Lewis for 3. He's not making anything. Now here's Tracy Murray. He makes it. Now here comes Brown. And that is fouled. Gaze on the catch and shoot. And he makes the 3-pointer. He has now 18 points for the Sonics. And by the way, the lead was at 20. Now it's down to 17. Here's Lorenzen Wright being guarded by Mikey Moore. Now here's Williams to Piakowski. Moore with the rebound. Now here comes Andrew Gaze. Lou for 3. And he hits the 3-pointer. Now 71-57. And now here's Piakowski for 3. And he makes it to make up for it. And now Lou with he's going to bring it all up. Gaze for 3. And he makes it again. Andrew Gaze with now 21 points. He's the only one that's really been scoring for the Sonics. Piakowski for 3. Moore with the rebound. Now here comes Corlone Young. Young for 3. And he makes the 3-pointer. Is now 12-3. And now almost a steal. Oh, it's going to be Sonics basketball. Now here's Jones. Oh, nice fake. Tries to get it in, and he does. Now 2 minutes left in the quarter. Sonics have been coming back a little bit. Now here's Piakowski. Nice pass. And he gets the dunk. That was to right. And now it's Hudson with the steal. And a huge dunk. Is now 78-65. Here's Corlone Young. Lou for three. And again, Teron Lou from three-pointer. He's now 3 for 3. Now here's Nesby over to Jones. And that was Taylor with a huge shot. 54 points in the paint for the Clippers. Now here's Jones. Now here's Lou. Goes for the three again. Nope, not this time. Now here's Hudson. And he makes it. 54 seconds left in the quarter. Here's Andrew Gaze for three. Not this time. Now here's Hudson. And not this time. And now here's Teron Lou for three. Oh! Another three-pointer for Teron Lou. He's finally having a spark of a game. Maybe he just likes to play in LA. And now a three-pointer. And he makes it. Now here's Mikey Moore over to Jones. And Moore with the rebound. And he misses. Only seconds left. And that's not going to do it. And we are back. Here's Teron Lou over to Piakowski. Blocked by Mikey Moore. Now here comes Andrew Gaze over to Corlone Young. And now here's Dante Jones who floats it in. Jones has now 8 points. Now here's Taylor with the easy layup. And while he's down, they're going to take advantage of it. Now here comes Teron Lou over to Jones. And he is fouled, and he will go to the line. And makes the free throw. and makes another free throw. Now 89-75. And here's a jumper, and he makes it. Gaze for three. Oh my goodness. Andrew Gaze now has 24 points. He has been on fire. Teron Lue trying to guard. And here's a three-pointer. And rebound. Greg Foster just simply cannot play defense. I'm putting in Mikey Moore for that. Gaze for three. Blocked by Rashard Lewis, but it's going to be Clipper ball. Here's Tracy Murray. Now Teron Lue. Here's Jones. Misses the shot. Oh no, out of bounds. Went bouncing off of Rashard Lewis. And out of bounds, Sonics basketball. And here's Teron Lue looking for the screen by. He almost kind of got it from McCoy. And he goes for it, and he does. Jelani McCoy with 12 points. He's been 12 points in the paint. Now here's Tracy Murray. And Mikey Moore with the rebound. Here comes Andrew Gaze. Gaze for three. He ain't making it. Lamont Murray. Oh, it's not Tracy Murray. It's Lamont Murray. And Troy Hudson gets it in. Now a 15-point lead by the Clippers. Sonics still have time. Now here's McCoy. Nice moves by McCoy. It is now 95-82. McCoy has now 14 points. Piakowski with a shot. McCoy with the rebound. That's number 8 for McCoy. And now it's going to be a steal. Not a good start for the Sonics, or not a good quarter. And Piakowski gets that in. It is now a 15-point game. He has been shooting 3 of 16, though. Oh, no, another steal. And this game is just getting out of hand. And blocked by Teron Lue. And gets it to Rashard Lewis. Only to get it to Gaze. Now here is McCoy. He loses the ball. And Teron Lue is going to commit the foul because the coach told him to, because they just don't want to burn any timeouts. And nearly stolen. Here's Hudson for 3. Resprit with the rebound. Now here's McCoy. Over to Mikey Moore. Resprit for 3. And hits it from downtown. Sean Resprit is now 3 of 3 in the second half. There's Marcus Brown. Here's a jump shot. And Young with the rebound. And now here is McCoy. And that is goaltending. And the Sonics are now within 10. Can the Sonics make some kind of a comeback? We'll see. Now here's Maurice Taylor. And fouled by Resper. He had to foul. Taylor's going to the line. He has now 19 points. He's been an excellent player for the Clippers this season. He did become an all-star. And this is to make it a 12-point game. He misses it. Now here comes Brown. Oh, nice moves by Brown, but he's blocked. Brown gets it back. We'll get it back to McCoy. Shot clock is going down, and they are going to lose it on a shot clock violation. Total mismanagement by the Sonics. Only 2 minutes left in this game. Here's Jelani McCoy. And now here it is. Moore with the rebound. Here's Lou for three. Oh, Teron Lou from downtown. Lou has been near perfect from the line, from the three-pointer. Now here's Piatkowski. Oh my God, here's Vankovic, and he makes it. Now here's Teron Lou. Over to Resprit. Here's Young for three. And nothing really doing. They're just going to bring back much of their bench players. Here's Sean Resprit. Corlone Young for three. And this is just going to be a very disappointing game for the Sonics. Now here is Tracy Murray, or Lamont Murray. Timeout's going to be called, and they are going to be... This is what it's going to be. Here's Jones. Goes for the shot. He misses. A very uninspiring game by the Sonics. The only ones that really contributed was Andrew Gaze. And stolen by Jones, and he's going to get it to Marcus Brown. And he can't make it himself. Now here comes Williams. Now here's Tyrone Nesby. And blocked by Jones. And rebound Foster. Clock is going down. And stolen. And they're going to dribble out the clock. And the Los Angeles Clippers will come away with a victory over the Seattle SuperSonics. It was all Lamont Murray today with 22 points. Gaze was the only one that scored his 24 points. McCoy had 16 points and 8 rebounds. Teron Lue hit 5 3-pointers. And that was pretty much it. Marcus Brown was absolutely atrocious. Not a good game for the Sonics. And let's simulate a day. It's going to be the home closer. They're going to be playing Indiana, then Denver, and then they'll finish it off in Indiana. Here's how the standings are holding out to be. The Heat, the Bucks, the Hawks, the Pistons. And the Hawks are in good shape. Bucks are in great shape. The Hawks are in excellent shape. I think Dominique Wilkins had a lot to do with that. Oh boy, the Sonics picks are not looking good. There could be a middle pick there. I mean, which picks do the Sonics own at this point? Doesn't even say how many draft picks they own. Dominique Wilkins has been nothing more than just a bench warmer, but he has a chance to compete for an NBA championship still. When he played with the Sonics, it was mostly a 10-point game, 10 point per score. And now, this is where he's at. Pretty much on his way to retirement. Brian Evans has been doing very well-ish. He's been playing a little bit more minutes. Well, it's going to be Jones, Watson, a very streaky season for Andrew Gaze. Except he's been on career highs. Now I want to look at Rashard Lewis's numbers. Wow, they only showed... Wow, they didn't even show the first half. That's disappointing. I'm sure Joe Stevens' numbers are also pretty good. On the road, he plays very well. He's been a near 20-point scorer. Let's look at Jerome James. I mean, Jerome James, he's about to get paid. February, he had a really good month. March, but April, he's kind of fallen off a little bit, but he's been getting more rebounds, more efficient scoring. Sonics at 27 and 51. They'll be playing against the Indiana Pacers for their home closing. Sonics are still the second worst team in the NBA. But anyways, that's going to do it. I'm taking off. I'm done. I'm tired. What a day it was. Hopefully by next week, we'll have some better Sonics updates. Now I just got to see, what am I going to do next? Just checking my calendar really quick, as I was able to complete 2 games. It's going to be the Sonics home closing. And then I'm going to try to do Denver. Doing the Pacers. So it's going to be the Pacers, Denver, and then the Pacers again. I got to do it at some point. Might do it on a Sunday night, possibly. Then I'm going to do Denver. It's going to be I got only 3 games left. I got 4 games left. Excuse me. So, yeah. Well, I'm going to take off. That is it. Thank you very much for being on this show. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification, and let's go Sonics. Bring them back.